morning. I'm not Taylor, but nevertheless will take you exploring in the vast African wilderness. This is Safari Live.
Ready. Standing by.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
Good morning to all of you and welcome on our Sunrise Safari live from Djuma Private Game Reserve, which is on the Greater Kruger National Park area of South Africa. Not on, in would be the correct preposition. My name is Jamie, and this morning I have Dave on camera with me. Dave, who has of course just returned to leave. From leave, whatever. I'm getting confused, okay? Dave has returned from leave and he's very excited to be back, and yesterday we got to see hyena cubs and leopard cubs. It's not a bad way to spend an afternoon. On this live safari, because what you are seeing is happening right here and right now in South Africa, you can send through your questions, and you can do that using hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can email through to questions@WildEarth.TV. And this morning Taylor will be out at some point with one of the other vehicles, and Brent will be out on bushwalk. Exciting things planned. We've just got a report from Rexon that the lions have come back onto Djuma out of their incredibly tricky patch that they found themselves in on Arathusa. They were in a tambuti thicket where we could see one ear move every now and again. I'm hoping for a lovely sighting. There's buffalo here in Nkuhuma's. There's no buffalo there, but there are buffalo here. No, you want to be here. You know you do. I'm just concerned because Rexon was on his way back to camp, so he won't be with them. I'm concerned they're going to start moving. Just hence the slight hurry. It is a chilly, for us anyway, 67 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius. Really is cold for this time of year. This time last year we were sleeping under wet towels to try and cool down, or else climbing into the cold shower in our pajamas and then just climbing into bed without drying off. Things have changed, and we're glad they have, because last year resulted in a terrible drought and many suffering animals. Now, I saw buffalo yesterday for the first time in a while. I think I'd just forgotten how big buffalo actually are when they are not super skinny. Oh, and of course it's lovely to have Miss McLennan-Smith's voice back in my ear. Nice to have you back, Kirst. Okey-dokey. Sorry, I'm having a little quiet chuckle to myself. Wendy has been temperamental, to say the least, and unfortunately, despite our best efforts, she apparently still doesn't want to work. And she has once again given up the ghost. We're all shocked and surprised. Okay, lions, we're somewhere here. I don't see any tracks in the road yet. Oh, it's going to be such nice tracking light. See the sun, see the sky. Going to be lovely. There are some impala looking frantically at light. Okay, I can almost guarantee they're over there. The impala are a little bit of a giveaway. Stock still with their heads out, looking that way. Look, there's the impala. Okay, of course they all stopped doing it as I said that. The one in front is definitely doing that. So the lions didn't go that way. Dominique would like to know what the coldest temperature is during the summer. This is probably about as cold as it gets. Sorry. Somebody was trying to call me on the Game Drive comms. Right, what was I going to say? Oh yes, coldest temperatures. It doesn't really get much below that. You might get a few days that are in the sort of mid-teens, but that is really exceptionally cold weather. That's a hyena track. Sorry, I just want to chat to Rex, who's busy talking to Taylor at present. Okay. Right, first person to spot a lion gets my respect. I don't have anything else to offer, I'm afraid. Rex. Morning Rex, Jamie here. I was just wondering, were those Xongile mobile when you saw them? Copy that, thank you. Okay, so they crossed actually a bit further up this road. Ooh, but going that way. Now let us hop onto Sandy Patch. Don't go north in Nkuhumas, please. Are all four Birmingham boys, the dominant male lions of this area, yesterday at least, were all the way south towards Mala Mala. Now I think the Nkuhuma's feeling a little bit bereft of their protection. I'm gonna race along in the hope that we get to these lions before they cross. But while we do that, it is now light enough for Bushwalk to be up and about. Let's go and say hello to them.
Oh, good morning, and welcome to what is going to be a spectacular bushwalk. I'm already calling it. My name is Brent Smith. I have the dangerous Batman on camera, and we have Rex walking with us as protection. Now, Taylor's following Karula, I heard, but she's right in a deep drainage line, so there's probably no signal there. But we're going to go see if we can find Xongile and Hosana, so fingers crossed. We've had some wonderful walks with those cubs, and I intend to have another wonderful one. If not, we've got lots of other things to see: bugs, birds, beasts. Hashtags Fari Live or questions at WildEarthTV if you'd like to get hold of us. And I'm so happy there's not a cloud in the sky. Morning, Jill. Jill is wondering, how big is this park? Well, Jill, that's a multi-layered question. I see Rex might have spotted, so he's going to go talk on the radio. We're just going to keep walking. So, Jill, we are on Djuma Private Game Reserve. That is about 2,500 acres. We traverse also in total with Cheetah Plains, Chitwa, Arathusa, probably just around 8,000 acres. And we're in the northern Sabi Sands. The whole Sabi Sands Game Reserve itself is about just over 120,000 acres. So let me just let's draw it in the sand. Let's get past here and then we'll draw it in the sand while I'm still talking. So the next part is there's no fence between us and the Kruger National Park, and that itself is about 4-5 million acres, and there's no fences between the other game reserves in the area, the Timbavati, the Klaseri, so this whole massive area, including the Transfrontier Parks. So the Transfrontier Parks, there's no fences between us and a reserve in Mozambique and in Zimbabwe. So the whole Transfrontier Park is about 8.5 million acres. So we're in a massive area. The only place there are fences are just along our western boundary with the communities here. I'm looking for a nice patch of sand to give you an idea how what the park is like. This looks like a good place. What do you think, Batman, to draw? So, up in the north, we have the Limpopo River that forms the border between Zimbabwe and more or less down here, a very straight line, is the border with Mozambique. Now let's see how my drawing skills are today. The Kruger doesn't have the straightest boundary. It goes something like this, all the way down to the south where it does that. More or less, this is not an exact drawing. Now, you've got, let me just think. This is, I think I've got my, well anyway, I've got my, let's just do it like that, just not try to be exact. And so, we are about here, more or less. Now, here, this is the Sabi Sands, this area over here. Then we have the Manuletti, and then the Timbavati, Kasiri, and all that come right out. I think I've made these too big, by the way. Then you've got the Taba Ranch, Makuyu Reserve. Then, into Zimbabwe we go. Ooh, and there's a massive area in Zimbabwe. It goes well up north, and then there's another massive area in Mozambique. So it's all congruous, and 8.5 million acres. Not my best drawing, I won't lie, but the monkeys are alarm calling, so let's go. So it could be Xongile down towards the river system below the pan. Those who watch the Djuma Dam Cam, keep your eyes open. This is the best thing about this time of the morning. The air is alive with the sounds of animals. Birds. And our first animals on bushwalk. Herd of impala looking at us. Hello, impalalas. Now they definitely would have heard that monkey alarm calls, so they're probably going to be a little bit more alert. Now you'll see I'm walking down the roads, and leopards and lions like to do this on mornings like this, because the dew is full up in the grass, so it'd be like going for a bath, and it's still quite chilly. You can see I've even got a jersey on, which is unusual for this time of the year. After all this cool weather, the sort of general temperature. More monkeys alarm calling. Jaro would like to know, have we had enough rain to get us through the dry season? I don't know. I think we probably need some more. And the water holes aren't quite full yet. Impala being very relaxed this morning. Hello, Impalalas. Now, from what I heard of Taylor, she might have even lost Karula because she's gone right into that really difficult area to get into below the dam wall. She might have made a kill last night, so we might find Xongile and Hosana, or we might find all three and give Taylor a hand, especially since on foot we are able to move a lot easier through the river systems and that than you are in a vehicle. And let's hope Jamie has some luck with those Nkuhumas. They've just been dancing across our boundaries recently. So there's monkeys alarming there, monkeys alarming there. 2 sets of monkey alarm calls. Just want to make sure as we come down here, it's quite open. Now Tingana was seen in the south last night, so he could easily wander up here as well. I'm just going to take my ears out for a second. I also think I hear an elephant. Doof, doof. It sounds like there's an elephant around here as well. That's what I was stopping to listen to. So your ears are the most important thing when you're walking in the bush. They will save you before your eyes. So that, like a stamping elephant foot, could also be a buffalo sometimes, but that sounded a bit big. So as much as we want to race down towards where those monkeys are alarm calling, we've got to take into consideration their buffalo, their elephant, their other animals out here. Okay, so we're going to concentrate for a bit, and while we do that, let's see how Jamie's search for the Nkuhumas is going.
Still empty-handed, I'm afraid, but still searching frantically before they decide to cross the boundary. So it seems as though they've gone into this area on my left. So they're between 2 roads at the moment. I'm just trying to establish exactly where they crossed in front of Rex, just so that I've got a better idea as to their trajectory into this block. I think I see, I do see lion tracks. See lots of lion, oh goodness, they really are going towards the boundary. So they are walking north. Oh no, wait, hold on. There's 1 set, 2 set. I think the Birmingham boys might have come back. And then lots, many and lots. Okay, so they really are going straight towards the gate. No, hold on, they're pacing a bit. Hold on, let's just check a bit further ahead. No. They are definitely going this way. Accompanied by, it looks like, male lions. So the Birmingham boys have walked all the way, presumably. And JC Charles, yes, absolutely. The Birmingham boys do have different names in Mala Mala. They are called the Gowrie males by the Mala Mala crew. Oh, these are so beautifully fresh. The Gowrie males is their name in that area. It happens where different guiding areas just have different names for different animals. It's the same way that Nkuhuma was renamed by them the Senegal bush leopard, I think, or the Senegal male. I think it was something like that. So it does occur. Oh, Brent's camera flying everywhere. Well, sorry about that, Brent. And it doesn't actually really matter what the lions are called in there, because we all know who they mean. It does create a little bit of confusion for people who are trying to understand the dynamics of the different cats, because at first glance they might then think that is a different coalition of male lions, but it's not. It is exactly the same one. They do come from Gowrie, hence why they started to call them the Gowrie males. This whole area is Gowrie. They don't actually even originally come from here, but when they first saw them, they came from here, if that makes sense. They came from a place called Birmingham, or a pride called Birmingham, which is much further north of us. They're going straight towards the boundary. No. On a morning like this morning, Molly, in answer to your question, cats like to walk on the road. They will cut corners, and when they do that, they'll try and walk on a slightly well-established game path or an elephant path. And the reason they do that is, well, A, it's quieter. It's easier to walk along the road and be quiet because you're not stepping on sticks and brushing past twigs. But B, it is not as damp on a morning like this morning. There's a lot of dew around, and so for them, it just makes sense for them to walk on the road. Now, the way their trajectory is working, if we don't see their tracks here, they are still on Djuma. I just need to concentrate because tracking is still a little tricky at the moment. Unless they start hunting in there. Sorry, I'm just concentrating. I don't want to miss them before they cross. I had some amazing wild dog sightings here before. It's been a long time since I've seen a lion in this particular patch. Let's just stop and listen for 1 second for alarm calls. There's a woodpecker. Ooh, it sounds like the lapwings are upset at Sydney's dam. That's not good. Sydney's is just across our boundary. Nothing. Not a peep from the impala that I know are dotted all over there because I've just driven there. You scanning the bush fiercely, Dave. Oh yes. One more check of Sydney's dam. Come on, lions. It'll be the first time I've seen a male lion in about a month and a half. So I'm quite excited. There's their chicks. Ah, no. Why just one, though? I can only see one. A very good morning to... Wait, I've forgotten which way round it was. Michelle through Dominique or just Dominique? Just Dominique. I don't know where I got the name Michelle. Dominique wants to know, has there ever been a recorded sighting of an albino lion? I believe that there has... albino, of course, is the complete... Oh, goodness. Albino lions, albino anything is just the complete absence of pigment. So albino lions would have red eyes rather than blue of the white lions. The white lions are leucistic, not albino. They do have some pigment. An albino lion would not survive very well in the wild. Most albino animals don't. Actually, come to think of it, I don't actually think there's been an albino lion sighting recorded. Leucistic, yes, but albino, no. There's also never been a case where there is a melanistic lion, despite what Photoshop might tell you if you Google melanistic lions. Those are not real lions. Those are fake lions. Those are Photoshop lions. There's definitely no such thing as a melanistic lion. There are leucistic or white lions with blue eyes, and that is actually, we're not far from the area where you find the highest populations of white lions. I think we've missed them, everybody. I've got a sneaky suspicion they've walked across on the really hard patches of soil and they've gone into Buffelshoek. Most distressing. So we're going to stop here, wait, and we're going to send you over to Brent, who's got an exciting surprise for you.
We've got the leopards on foot again. So Wendy's having some problems. She's rushing back. Look, they're playing. Let's just try to get into a spot where we can see them. It looks like Karula and Xongile, and they're jumping all over each other. Now, of course, we've seen our leopards run around, so we're going to keep quite a good distance from them. Okay, it's just laying down. You see them, okay? Through that little thicket there. There's one, and the other's up ahead. So we're going to try to stick with them, but it's going to be quite difficult. We're going to have to keep quite far away from them till Taylor gets back. She's going to change into Rusty. It looks like maybe Hosana. I think what we'll do is we'll go... Oh wait, Rex says he's got a better view from that side. Oh, isn't that beautiful? There we go. So we're not trying to hide or sneak, so that they're well aware that we're here. Oh, Pound's coming. Oh, isn't this amazing? I mean, we've had fantastic sightings of just the cubs on foot, but now we are watching them with the mother playing. This is very, very special. There's Karula walking. Beautiful light this morning. Yeah. So what we're going to do... Oh, there's all three of them. Okay, all three are here. By the looks of things. Okay, we're going to keep up and around. As I said, we can't... While they're on the move, we can't really just sort of follow them quite closely. So we're going to try to keep our distance. We're probably going to keep about 50 meters or 60 meters away. And they're heading this way. So what we're going to do is move around onto the next road. And we're just trying to keep a careful eye on them. So once Taylor's back up and running in the jig-jag, she can continue on the sighting with you. But this is exciting. I mean, corn crack yesterday, leopards on foot today. My, tough life we lead out here. Okay, so the last place I saw them, they were heading like this. Just going to go a little bit slower now. So we're heading, Rex has got them, and in front of us. Oh yeah, they're moving very quickly. This is the challenge of trying to keep up with a leopard that's moving on foot. You don't want to get too close, but you also don't want to get too far. Okay, let's stop here. Looks like Karula. Hi, Mom. How are you doing this morning? As you can see, she's well aware that we're here, and she's not perturbed in the slightest. We are incredibly lucky with these leopards. Yeah, a bit of preening. Of course, it is much easier to follow them in the vehicle, as you are able to get a lot closer. Well, you know, as Wednesday mornings go in the office, I'd say this is pretty good. You can see she's not trying to slink away, she's not changing her body pattern movements. She's well aware we're here. Looks like she's calling to the cubs. Now, we better be careful, there's trouble. Where's Hosana? He could be stalking us. Naughty little thing. They might come bounding in at any second. Here they come. Okay, they're going to come in. So they're coming in from the right. One of the cubs. Looks like Hosana. So just stay on Karula. He's gone into stalk mode. Can't see Xongile at the moment. I think that's a third leopard, I'm not sure. They're in the long grass, but they're about to come through to where Mom is. There we go. She's got out of the way before the cub leaped on her. He's coming in from the right still. There we go. That's definitely Hosana looking at the size. Where is little Xongile? Okay, we're going to go out to the right. I can hear a car. I don't know if it's Taylor, whether she's back up and running. If it is, I think we're gonna cross over to her. Let's just double check. Okay, so Taylor's back up and running. She's back with the leopards, so we're going to jump across to Taylor as she follows the royal family. Oh, no, you're staying with us. Oh, here comes Xongile. Oh, look at them, they're playing in the road right next to us. Hey guys, hello Hosana. He's giving us the look through the bush. Oh, sorry, Greg. Now, okay, we're going to try and go to Taylor again with those leopards.
Good morning, everybody. Isn't that just a beautiful shot? Now, my name is Taylor, and on camera with me is Brian, and we are having difficulties, but we've got the thumb, who will hopefully protect us in his very smart suit and tie. Brian, I'm glad he's got clothes on today. Let's go and let's see if we can have a look at these leopards. So we actually found them early this morning. It was really amazing. As we drove around, I was heading to the last spot that we'd seen Karula last night, and then, well, we spotted Xongile, who's bouncing around. They didn't even scrub hairs, which was a little bit sad. Oh, there we go. Well spotted, Brian. I can't see over the tall grass. I just saw the tail above the grass. And you hear all the birds. You hear them starting to shout just now. Okay. So I've seen Karula as well. I'm going to try and get in front of these cats. Woo! Sorry, Brian. Let's catch them in front. Otherwise, we're going to spend the entire morning driving behind them. Okay, and then we're going to make our way. No, I've just seen her. Now, this is the tricky part. What is she going to do? She's just through there. The cubs are going to come out. But now, I don't know if she's going to come towards us or if she's going to go a little bit further east or south or back west. So we'll just stand by at a distance and just watch what she's going to do. But she is definitely waiting for the cubs to catch up to her. There they come racing in. Hi, naughties. And I cannot believe how big Hosana is. When I first saw them together, because I haven't seen Karula and Hosana together for a very, very long time. We often just see either one of the cubs on their own, or we sometimes see them together. And I think the last time I seen them together was when they were at, oh wow, look at that, all playing with each other, is when we were at Twin Dams and we seen Boris the Blade and he was showing some interest in them. That was the last time that I actually saw all three of them together. And he has definitely grown up so much. And they're going to pop out just in front. Let's quickly jump up ahead again. We're going to play leapfrog today, which is going to be loads of fun. Now remember, this is a live interactive safari, so if you have any questions for us, you're more than welcome to ask us. Hashtag Safari Live. Oh, there's a bushbuck or something that was just calling. I just heard it. Listen. Oh, it's an Inyala. There's an Inyala bull just here. Is it an Inyala or is it a kudu? No, I think it's an Inyala. I can't see very well. Yes, it was. So he's shouting now. He's alarming at those leopards, telling everybody that he's here. I think that is a little bit too big for Karula to go after. She's not a particularly large leopard, and that Inyala hasn't bolted away completely. Now, a big male leopard like Xongile, on the other hand, could take down a big Inyala bull, no problem. But Karula, I think she'll be biting off a bit more than she could chew. I reckon a big Impala ram is as large as what she'd go. I'm actually going to try and go up a bit further because we might get them both in the same shot in a minute. She's walking straight towards it, but she's not stalking. She's not really showing too much interest in the Inyala at all. She's actually looking the complete opposite way. Now she's walking. Okay, let's have a look here. There they are. We're going to be doing lots of this stopping and starting. Hello, Virginia from Kentucky. There we go. Look, he's learning to mark as well. You were wondering if leopards have spotted skin when they're born. And they do. They've got very tiny rosettes. They're almost, you can't really make them out very well. And as they start to get older, they become more and more prominent. But yes, they look very spotted when they are first born. And normally they have sort of blue eyes as well, which is quite lovely. Xongile is about to pop into your picture just on the left-hand side. She's not sneaking up to her brother. There we go. But I think he's pretending to lay flat in the grass. They're getting so rough with each other now. And Karula just keeps turning her head back, giving the most disapproved look. Hello. Alright, let's jump up ahead. Karula seems to have stopped again. Now, Michael, good morning to you from a very nice day here in South Africa. And you've just asked us, Xongile is chasing after Mom, how much do these leopards weigh in comparison to Karula? Well, I reckon Hosana probably weighs a little bit more than her now. He's a lot stockier than her. She's slightly taller. And so I don't know, Karula's this little leopard. I mean, it's hard to say, but I reckon she's probably not more than about 40 kilograms. I think that's absolute max, but between 30 and 40 kilograms. So I think Hosana's probably around 35, maybe almost 40 kilograms. Xongile is very little. Oh, there's another Inyala. We're giving an alarm call. There's lots of them here, but she wasn't showing too much interest in them. We just have to wait for the cubs to go past before we can squeeze in. So I reckon that Xongile probably weighs about 20 kilograms, so about 45 pounds, somewhere around there, but she's very small. They look more excited than Mom does. Now, I just saw a kudu run as well, so I think there's kudu and Inyala around here. The Inyala are now dashing away. Let's move up. Let's keep up ahead with them. They're all running. That big Inyala bull, though, is still here. He's hanging. He's just around the corner. And then there was kudu. There was kudu running, and there was some Inyala females bolting off to the right of us. But everybody knows that she's here now. Wait, I'm going to do a little bit of a two-pointer. We will just quickly... I'll scrape through this tree. Where did you guys go? There you are. Are you having a drink? Oh, lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Sorry, as you've seen, as we're off-roading over all sorts of different types of terrain, so you may see Brian every now and then just re-leveling the camera. What do we have? These two naughties having a quick drink. Mom had already had a drink earlier. I wonder where they're going to go. I don't know if they've eaten something last night. They don't look particularly thin. They still look in good condition. And these big cats, they don't have to eat every single day. Though if they could, they prefer to. But she could just be moving them. And I think if the opportunity comes around where something is small enough for Karula to catch, she will try and catch it. But also, as they're walking through this long grass, they could easily flush out sort of the ground-dwelling birds, so the francolins and the spur fowls, as well as a scrub hare or a squirrel or a mongoose. And then you can imagine Hosana and Xongile will be thrilled with that, and they will probably go chasing after anything that moves. And up he goes. We might get a view of them if we go on this side of the termite mound. Let's give it a go. I'd prefer to keep these marks. Oh, so beautiful. Let's try now. Now you might see every now and then up. We do apologize for this. The gremlins are out in full force. They're attacking Wendy, and only Wendy. Now you might be able to see little heads popping up every now and then, and I think that's Karula. And I think she came around to actually check this termite mound because there's a big hole in it. So at some point an aardvark, anteater, must have gone in there, and then I'm sure warthogs would have utilized it. So that's what the leopards love to do, is as they go strolling through some of these areas, they will poke their heads into that hole that you can see on the left. And if there's a warthog inside there, or anything sleeping inside there, they probably would be quite excited by it, and might even try and pull it out. But isn't this light gorgeous? And especially also with those dewdrops that are forming on all of the grasses and the various plants. Now children, come back around this side and play over here so we can watch you. We'll hang tight here. We won't change our spot, because they've already come from the right hand side where Karula's looking now. So I don't know if she'll go back there. I'm sure she'll carry on going east or south. But have a little listen. So turn your volume up and listen to all the birds that have just started calling. Isn't that gorgeous? Ooh. Now, of course, those birds are not alarming for the leopards. They're just giving their morning call. And Karula's now decided to sit up on top of the termite mound, where she's got a very, very good view of her surrounding. And Michelle, you've wondered if leopards and lions will only hunt when they're hungry. Like I was saying earlier, Michelle, you know, if these cats could catch something every single day, they would quite happily go into a food coma 24/7. Then they'd be thrilled by that. But the problem is that these cats are not very successful when it comes to capturing their prey. So it takes them quite a few chances before they get lucky. So even though they might not be hungry, they could potentially still be sitting, listening, waiting for something to come close by. So even when they are having a snooze, which the big cats love to do during the heat of the day, they've still got one eye open and they're still listening around them. Because if a group of warthogs were to stumble across some sleeping leopards, or the same thing goes with lions, with any of the prey species, they'll jump up and they will make an attempt to catch it, regardless of how full they are. Because that means if they catch something, then they might not have to worry about catching something again in a couple of days' time. That also depends on the size of the prey that they have. So if it's lions on maybe a big buffalo kill, and there's not many lions feasting on the buffalo, they might leave it alone. But I have seen it where lions have got up and attempted to make another attempt at another buffalo that's come to investigate, and they weren't successful. The buffalo ended up getting away, but they did try to catch it, and the leopards would do the same thing with just smaller prey. And it's a tough job for Karula at the moment. She really has her hands full, or her paws full. She's got 2 very hungry bellies, and then plus hers, which makes a third. And Hosana eats probably the same amount that Karula and Xongile eat in one go. That's what he would eat. He's a greedy guts. So she needs to keep in mind that if she catches small things like duiker and steenbok, or a scrub hare or a dwarf mongoose, it's not going to last long at all. So she needs to try and catch something like a big impala ram that they can feed on for a day and a half, and then move on from there. But Xongile and Hosana have already started catching their own meals too. We saw yesterday morning, oh no, not yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon I think it was, when did Xongile have the scrub hare? These days go by so quickly here, but in the last 24 hours Xongile caught a scrub hare and she ate it. And Hosana, I don't think he's as gifted as his sister when it comes to catching things, but I'm sure he's caught the odd squirrel. Well, I suppose he's the renowned terrapin and frog catcher. Not as tasty as the meals that his sister's catching, but I suppose you can't be too greedy out here in nature. You've got to take what you can get. That is lovely, the way she's sat up on top of that mound. Hello, girl. Now, she hasn't seen anything just yet. She hasn't showed us that she's potentially spotted any prey in the distance. That is a beautiful shot, Brian. Now, Ginny, you're wondering who will leave first out of Hosana and Xongile. Most likely Xongile. Karula seems to have it where her male cubs stick around for longer than the girls do. And we can see it straight away. If you look at the way Xongile behaves, she's a lot more adult leopard-like, whereas Hosana seems to be a bit of a clumsy klutz every now and then. He still falls out of trees horribly. And like I said, he hasn't quite fine-tuned his hunting skills, whereas Xongile, if something were to happen to Karula, and I hope that nothing ever happens to her, these cubs would be able to survive on their own. They'd be fine. Especially Xongile, she just, for the next few months, live off catching scrub hares and smaller prey items. They may even stick together for a bit, but eventually they would split. Hosana would have it more difficult, just because he hasn't fine-tuned those hunting skills. He'd be eating all the tortoises and the terrapins and the frogs, which we see him go after on a regular basis. So I don't think he won't probably grow as well as he should, because wouldn't be getting enough sustenance. But who knows? Maybe he makes a little duiker kill, but they'd be fine. They'd be able to survive. But Xongile will probably go first. She's sitting down now. I don't know if she's going to play with her young'uns, if her little ones are maybe stalking her, because I can just see her ears pricked up. Because I hope that they don't decide to surprise her. I really don't think Xongile and Hosana know that there's a big hole just below Karula. Can you imagine, Brian? One of them goes falling into that. Okay, should we reposition? Should we give it a go and see what's happening on the other side? Right, where are we going to go? We can sneak again, so I'm just trying to think. Okay, we're actually going to have to do a bit of a detour around, and we will eventually get back around to this leopard. We're going to send you across to Jamie, and I'm not sure. Earlier she said she was looking for the Nkuhumas. I wonder if she's had any luck.
I'm looking for the Nkuhumas, and I have indeed had some luck. In that, I found their fresh tracks where they've crossed, where Rex told me they were crossing this road. And then I found some tracks crossing the road to the north to Sydney's Dam, and I got a bit of a pang in my heart, because I thought, oh dear, the lions have disappeared on us. But actually, that's not the case at all. It was just the 2 males that crossed, and now that I've had a proper look at the tracks, I can see that the males walked down here before the females did. So the happy news is that these lions are probably still on Djuma. Isn't that wonderful to hear? Now it's just a matter of figuring out where they've gone. And the answer is probably not far from here. This explains those impala. I should have gone with my gut instinct with those impala steering off into this distance. That they were here somewhere, so they're probably not far. Now we just have to search. Still got their tracks. Do I still have their tracks? Yes. Now, David, you want to know what is the best time to see lions? Is it sunset or is it sunrise? David? These lions have been doing lots of pacing. I'm sorry, hold on a second. Let's just try and figure this out. They've been pulling a sneaky maneuver on us. David, it depends what you want to see, really. I personally prefer the mornings. I really like the mornings to see the lions. There's just something about it. Look at this. This is all them lying down. This entire section of tracks over here. This is all lions lying down. I like watching lions in the morning. There's something about the light and the energy of the morning that I enjoy. But really, lions truly come into their own at night. So sunset is quite a good time to watch them. And of course, sunset, you've got a chance of the lions roaring as well. Okay. So they were all here. Those tracks are beautifully fresh. I wonder if they didn't pop out after Rex and saw them onto this road while we've been busy scouring this area. I wonder. Lions sleeping, lions moving. Excuse me, have you seen a lion? Mr. Wildebeest? I'll show you him now. We must have been just 2 seconds behind seeing them. Tracks everywhere here. Oh, that's so pretty. Are you going to manage there, Dave, even directly into the sun? That's stunning. How gorgeous is this? Not a lion, but a wildebeest. Sorry, I need to sneeze and it's stuck. Right. That is really truly pretty. Even though it is an animal that perhaps some would consider not so beautiful. In fact, I think it makes it into the ugly list of the ugly 5. There are the impala that was staring in this direction. Beautiful. What was I talking about? I was talking about when's the best time to see the lions. I don't know what it is about lions in the morning that I really, really like. I enjoy seeing them. I think it's just the freshness of the possibility and the excitement of actually finding them. Having worked hard to search for them, and then all of a sudden you've got the sighting of the lions. Whereas in the afternoon, generally you're sitting with them for a while and they're sleeping for most of it, and then they get up towards the sunset. But it's at night, I would say it's at night that it's really the best to see lions. And nothing really beats the sound of a lion roaring in the darkness. Dave and I had an amazing experience with all of them, males, females, cubs, all roaring next to us with our lights all off. And that was truly special, wasn't it, Dave? It was a momentous moment. I think that Brent has, now that he's been with Karula, he's decided he wants 2 big cat sightings on foot, and he's going to come and help us. Let's go and find out if that is his plan.
moves on. Don't know what's... It's off. I don't know what... Okay, it's on now. There we go. So our hot stepping plan is... I think it's because I've been walking so fast. We're trying to get to where the last tracks where Rexon spotted the Nkuhuma Pride are. We're pretty sure they're still on Djuma. So we're going to try go for a double big cat whammy on foot. Lion and leopard in a single bushwalk. Can we do it? I don't know. I think we can, if they're still on Djuma, at least. So we're heading up Vertilla Access now, and that's where they were seen. I will be so happy if we get both on foot in a single day. Now, of course, walking lions is a very different thing to walking leopards, and especially since the Nkuhuma Pride's been chased around a bit by the looks of things, and they're a bit jumpy. We're going to have to be very careful. We're probably going to try spot them from a lot further, and as soon as we spot them, get a vehicle in there. They're definitely not going to be as relaxed as Karula and cubs were, but we like a good challenge, and there's something primal, even a little bit more sort of heart racing than being with leopards on foot, and that's with lions on foot, because after all, as soon as the sun sets, we become part of the dinner menu. But while we march along, let's go back to Taylor with the royal family.
We have got a different view of the leopards. Look at this, a beautiful silhouetted moment between Karula and Xongile. And I wonder if Hosana is going to go up and join them. He was faffing about, but look at that, isn't that beautiful? And this is probably I think it's one of the most beautiful things out here, is to see a silhouetted cat. And there's very few opportunities for you to get a shot like that too. They need to be up in a tree or on a termite mound, or at least a big plain with the sun behind it. And then of course it would be great if it was crested, if it was slightly elevated, and you can get the most glorious shots. But that unfortunately does not happen all of the time out here. And their young Xongile is making her way back towards her brother, who is lying in the grass, waiting for her next move. There he is. And she's just pretending like she hasn't seen him, but I'm pretty sure that Xongile knows her brother is sitting there. Is he going to pounce on her? We'll have to wait and see. Nico, you've just asked if how often do leopards need to drink a day? So typically they'll drink once a day, but it's not necessary, especially if they are feeding. The big cats do get a lot of their water from the animals that they're feeding on, so from the blood of the animals. But they will come and drink, especially if it's a hot day. It's refreshing. It's nice to have them come and drink. And then after they've gorged themselves, having a sip of water can often help aid in digestion. You can imagine with the amount of food that they push into their stomachs, I'm sure that they must get a couple of tummy aches every now and then. And I think that having a big glass of water sort of just helps subside that overwhelming feeling of fullness. And then, of course, they go straight into a coma and sleep for a good couple of hours. But not now. They're actually being wonderful at the moment, though I wish Karula would leave her little ones and go and find something for them to eat in Impala, because there is no shortage of animals around at the moment. There are Impala. You heard all the Inyala alarming. But like I said, unless there was a little one there, a little Inyala, it's a bit too big for her. She could take down a ewe, a female. And I think with everybody being there, too many eyes, too many ears, that bullet spotted her. And I think she knew that she had no chance, and there was no point wasting an attempt on a group of animals that knows she was there. But she might wait for them to settle down again. Eventually those Inyala will become a little bit complacent, and they might start to relax and forget that the leopards were just around here. And she could probably go back, pick up on their scent, and give it another bash. That wouldn't surprise me at all. That is stunning. Isn't that just gorgeous? We are so lucky to be able to do this every single day. This is genuinely, it's unbelievable. You know, sometimes it's hard to get up in the morning. You think, 4 o'clock, my goodness. And then you wake up you go out and you see something like this and you're just completely rewarded. Last station, go again. I'm just chatting on the Game Drive radio. A negative, I haven't called anything in on the Eastern Channel. I'm sitting with Karula and her cubs. We're just between Wahlbergs and Twin Dams, east of that junction. Right, so I'm just chatting. Andrews, please make your approach. I'm going to go off air, but you'll see my tracks from Wahlbergs Road going east. Here we go. Just had a quick calling Andrew into the sighting. He's also going to be making his way here. Hosana, are you exhausted now? Look at him. After all of that... Oh, no, that was short-lived. His attention span is so small. Now, we've been chatting quite a bit, obviously, over the last few weeks, actually the last few months, as to who is going to leave first. And we all suspect that it's going to be Xongile. Now, Kara, you've asked at what age do leopard cubs first give birth? So Xongile will probably leave. How old is she now? She's just over a year. Might be a little bit longer. By the time she gets to about, and this depends, this gives or take, because every leopard is slightly different. But by the time she gets to 2.5, 3 years old, she's probably coming into estrus for the first time. It gives or take. Every animal is slightly different, as we are humans, as we vary from one to one. But that's about the time. Whether she will take the first time mating might not be the case. It could take a couple of times. It might be even a little bit later than that. But I hope that she does stick around here. And I'm always just thinking, I wonder where Karula is going to open up a space for her, because that's what the female leopards do, is they tend to push other leopards away, other females, move them out, so that they can make room for their daughters. And that's what Karula's done here. She's done that with Shadow, who is just sort of west of where Karula's territory is. Then we've got Tundi, who is further southeast of her. But now where on earth is Xongile going to go? Maybe Karula decides she's also going to push further. There's actually, I don't know how many females are in north of us, Buffels Hook. So maybe Xongile decides to hang around in the northern sectors. We'll see where she decides to go. Obviously, we can only speculate, and she'll have to find her footing. She'll have probably a lot of run-ins, I think, with quite a few different leopards before she finds her place. But eventually, she'll get there. But she's still got a bit of growing to do. She's a little girl. And so is her brother. Her brother's still got quite a bit of growing to do, and I think he's going to turn into a mammoth of a leopard, which will be wonderful. Cole, now you've asked how many small sets of cubs will Karula have. It depends. Karula's moving on with age now, but she's still relatively young. She's 13 this year, and she'll probably keep going. I knew a leopard that had a cub last set of cubs when she was 15 years old, but sadly her cub, she only had one cub, and he got killed by a hyena, which was very, very sad. But typically they won't have cubs for too much later than that, and leopards can live to about 16 years old, give or take a little bit. It is, of course, a stressful life out here, and generally the lifespan of the females is slightly longer than that of the males. So she could still have another set of cubs. We have seen her with Tingana and mating, which was very exciting, but the gestation period is so short, so I don't know if she would have taken. And she's got very young cubs still. I think maybe by the end of the year, she'll come into estrus and start mating again, and then potentially have some more cubs. And then you'll see, then both cubs will have to move off. She won't have these two and a new set of cubs. She'll tell them to move on. But by then they should have. Hey girl, this is so wonderful. And Karula's also been so playful this morning. I haven't seen her like this. She just seems to have a spark in her eye, which is really nice. When Brian and I had first found her, it was a strange, we both looked at each other and we both said, she's being weird today, but weird in a good way. We see the cubs, how playful they are. They often climb up trees and jump on logs. And Karula was also, every little log or fallen tree she went past, she'd leap over it with all fours, which proved to be quite entertaining. So I'm glad to see that she is in a good mood. Hosana, don't you come look in these puddles. Maybe there's a frog for you to catch. He's got his thinking face on. You're concentrating very hard. Oh, there we go. That's a bit better. Push that piece of grass down. I think something keeps tickling him, whether it's the grass or all the flies that are out at the moment. I'm uncertain. But the flies are definitely bothering us. He's a funny boy. He finds the smallest things amusing. We saw them drinking water earlier and from a mud wallow as well. And from what you've heard from us here at Wild Earth, you know that these muddy wallows are not great. They really are full of bacteria, from warthogs, from rhinos to buffalo to elephants, all coming and splashing around in here, and sometimes they'll even defecate in that same water. And Hunter was wondering if these leopards are immune to the bacteria in the water. They are indeed. When they're young, they're quite susceptible to picking up sort of viruses and bacteria, but as they get older, they get stronger, they get more used to, and they're exposed to more of these bacteria, viruses, and disease, so they become quite resilient. So for them to come and drink from this water is not a problem. But if you and I were to dip our finger in there, just like that, without boiling it or anything, or being very brave like Steph and taking a sip, I think that if you're not used to it, if you're from the city, let's put it like that, and you're not used to the harsh things that are out here in the bush, because often we drink borehole water, which is groundwater, and I think that you could probably get quite sick. Especially if something's died in there. You wouldn't want to drink water from something that has died in a mud wallow. My goodness, you'll get a horrendous bacterial infection. So we try and avoid drinking water, for us as humans, drinking water from there. But for any of these animals, they are well used to it. They unfortunately don't have bottled water, fresh from the mountains, from the springs. They've just got to deal with all the rainwater that gets left behind. But if you look at elephants, now elephants can be quite picky. They wouldn't drink from this little puddle here. They'd come and they'd have a little splash around, and they'd cover themselves in mud, but they'd move towards Vuyatela Dam and look for the cleaner water. They're quite picky. Well, that was short-lived, guys. You were all playing around so nicely, and now you're laying down. Come on, boy. I was really hoping Hosana was going to climb a tree for us and show us all about his wonderful tree climbing skills that he has. And it's always quite funny. He's not well equipped up, and especially the smaller trees. He doesn't choose the big trees to climb in either. I mean, you climb up a marula, it's fairly easy. You've just got to hook your claws in, and the branches are nice and wide, and it's easy to balance. But not Hosana. He chooses the smallest bush willow with the thinnest and flimsiest branches, and then pretends to be a trapeze artist and bounces about from branch to branch. And I wonder if he gets surprised why he lands on his head so often. And I'd love to know what Karula thinks when she sees this going on, if she just sort of says, children, one day when they grow up, they'll realize they can't behave like that. I always wonder to myself, make stories for the animals. That's it. We can only read their behavior, but we don't really know what's going on inside their heads. Wouldn't it be very interesting to know what she thought or what Hosana was thinking? Though I think Hosana just thinks about eating all the time. I think he's just got food. And, oh wow, very quickly let's go across to Brent.
Okay, well, we got to the last tracks. We didn't go far, and we found the Nkuhuma Pride. So they're just in the gory thickets of Sandy Patch. I think this is the first time ever, lion and leopard on foot in a single bushwalk. I'm just going to grab the radio from Rex and call Jamie. Just move this way a little bit, we might be able to see it a bit better. Jamie. So there we go.
Standing by.
Jamie, come to Sandy Patch. We've got them. They are to the west of the road.
Okay, copy.
Okay, so...
Brent, confirm you got Xongile.
Sorry, 1 second. Affirm, Andrew. Just chat to Jamie. I'm live at the moment. Okay. So, very, very exciting. So, they haven't moved off. We can just still see their legs. Now, unlike the leopards, I'm not going to try to trail them. They've been having quite a difficult time at the moment. And there's a very good chance if we kept onto them, they'd actually just run away. And if we kept on them even more, they'd become aggressive with us. We might be able to get some long-distance shots through the quarry thicket. They're still watching us. Can you see her through there? You can just see through that bush there, watching us quite carefully. And they probably think we can't see them yet because they're not running. So they're just moving away slowly. But while they do that, you can have a look. They've been all around here today. So I'm just going to keep an eye on them. We're going to wait for Jamie to get here. But we've got some beautiful tracks. Let me get a piece of grass. We've got some absolutely gorgeous tracks. Now, one of the reasons you can see they're so gorgeous, this is one of the youngsters. And their feet are already bigger than, probably bigger than Tingana's track. Now, if you notice a lion track compared to a leopard track, it's a lot more elongated. So a leopard track is much sort of more squat. So it's oh, this is not a good drawing piece of grass, is it? So it's a lot sort of thicker. So with the lion track, you can see it's longer. So a leopard track, even if the base of the pad was the same size, the toes would probably only come up to there. And it's sort of a fat track rather than a long track like a leopard. Okay, you can see they've been all around here. Let's see if we can find an adult female track while we're here. So there we go. There's a lovely lioness track. So they've spent quite a bit of time in this area, playing around. We're just waiting for Jamie to arrive so we can show her where they've gone. Now, these tracks actually look like they're on top of Jamie's track. So they disappeared and popped out on top of Jamie. And of course, we're going a lot slower on foot. So it's always much easier for us to spot things. As you think about it, I mean, look at this grass. If they were lying down, so what happens is they probably stood up because they saw us. But if they were lying down, you're not going to see them from the car. Oh, here comes Jamie. So here comes Jamie. I think Andrew's also on his way. So they didn't move far when they saw us. So basically just behind this quarry thicket.
That is deeply distressing.
No, they came out onto the road on top of your tracks as well.
Thank goodness.
But also if they were lying flat in the quarries, I don't think you're not going to spot them. Dave, you had your eye test yet?
Not yet.
I'm just checking because you are sitting quite high there. So if anyone should have spotted them.
Guilty.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, we're going to continue on walking. Yeah, just basically go through this gap here. You should catch them. So while we continue on our walk, I think we're going to go look at some flowers now. I mean, there's no more cats to find. We're going to jump on board with Jamie while she goes into the Nkuhumas.
All right. Thank you, walking team. You're having fun with your 2 cat sightings on foot.
No, it's not bad today.
Not bad at all.
Good luck.
Thanks, Rex.
Oh, I think I can actually see one. Good luck.
Thank you. Okay. Sorry, excuse me. Let us go and have a look at the lions. Okay, well, I feel better about the fact that they came out on top of my tracks. As to whether or not Brent and Rexon were just saying that to make me feel better is a different story. But I have a feeling that they were not. I have a feeling that we've just been missing them the whole time. Now, interestingly enough, I found one lioness track on Aubrey's Road It makes me wonder if they're not trying to find the other two females. Right. Now let's find these lions. Let's not have an embarrassing situation where we have to call the walking team back in to find the lions that we can't find. Oh, large log. That would be deeply, deeply sad. Mike and Michelle, welcome to our live safari. Mike and Michelle, you want to know what age do male lions get pushed out of the Pride? Well, Mike and Michelle, it will be when they reach, oh dear, your VR is going to be damp now. They will be pushed out of the Pride at around about 3 years old. Sometimes they stay a little longer, sometimes they stay a little shorter, and it's just because it depends on the dynamics of what's happening with the male lions in that area at that time. So once they reach sexual maturity, generally their fathers will push them out. Oh goodness, it is very thick in here. But sometimes, as we saw with Junior, when you've got a takeover, they stay just that little bit longer, just because everything's up in a state of flux. And Junior was the Nkuhuma male when the Birmingham boys first came in. Andrew, they are to the west of where Taylor's Access Junction, Sandy Patch. I'm just trying to establish the sighting now. They've moved further into the block. Andrew, sorry, I called those in earlier. They've crossed Sydney's Dam. Sorry, everybody. I think these lions are now a bit spooked. They're moving a bit further into the block because I don't see anything. I don't see a flash of tawny. They've gone into this thicket over here. Oh dear, we're not having good luck with these lions at all. Oh, don't want to scratch that. Oh, David, we were meant to be answering that question and then I got distracted earlier. Do safari guides have territories like lions do? We have traverse areas. That is most definitely the case. I'm completely stuck in this impenetrable vegetation. We have places where we can go and places where we can't go. That certain lodges can go to certain areas, certain lodges can't, and vice versa. So there's a nice sort of a trade-off. It makes sure that everyone's quite evenly distributed. As for male safari guides and their territories, there's a lot of foot scraping at rangers meetings. I can tell you that much. Lots of territorial markings happening there and posturing. I find it thoroughly entertaining. Where are these lions? I think they're going further west now into this really thick stuff. And it is... Pardon? You got a little birdie? A little sunbirdie. Looks like a female's marico. Quite large. Where is the little birdie? Oh, there's the little birdie. Here's the little male. That's lovely, Dave. Well spotted. It's not a lion, though, Dave. Not quite a lion. It's cheeping away happily as it flies off. Sorry, I'm focused on trying to find these lions now. I think they've gone in here. That is impenetrable. Oh dear. Okay, let's go back. Try and get back the way we came. Attempt to. See an impala. Okay, everybody duck. What are we talking about? Oh yes, territories. So the reason we have traverse areas... Thank you. Thanks, Sam. That would be an interesting knock to the head. The reason that we have traverse areas is to make sure that no one area is overutilized. And there's a few reasons. One is just the impact on the environment. The other is the impact on the animals, so that there's not too many vehicles pressuring them. And then finally, well, there's a couple of other reasons, but we won't go into those because they're political and above my pay grade. But finally, there's the fact that it actually isn't very nice for a tourist if you have to go from sighting to sighting, but you can't stay for more than a few seconds because there's this massive queue behind you to come and see the animal. Okay, let's try again from over here. This is just one of those mornings with lions. Just one of those things. You just miss them every time. Watch out. Whack. Whipping Sam. This is his first proper off-roading experience. Oh my goodness gracious. Standing by. Negative. I think they've moved further into this thicket. It's very thick in here. I might go round towards Triple M just to see if they popped out there. I think they've kept moving quite fast. They might just still be in the middle of this thicket here. It's almost impossible to see and impossible to get into. Alright, I'm going to follow this game path in, which I think might be our only option. So while we search for these lions and creep through the trees, let's go across to our walking team for an update on perhaps they want a third cat sighting on foot.
Well, we've stayed in this area. We can hear where Jamie is. So we're just making sure that the lions haven't popped out this side. It's a mila. There's an impala there that looked like a lion for a second. So just want to make sure they haven't moved into here. So what we're going to do is there's a prominent game path that moves down through towards our western boundary. And I'm really trying to keep my feet as dry as possible, but I think it's over. I have to walk through the wet grass. But isn't this exciting? Now, I hear a lot of people saying we need to find cheetah. A cheetah, a wildcat, a serval. Well, we'll try. We were going to just try to look for shadow. I saw her tracks last night in this area. Chris is wondering, what do we do when lions become aggressive? Do we shoot in the air? Chris, that's the one thing you never do. When you're out on foot in the bush, there's no such thing as a warning shot. It is a complete waste of time, because once an animal's committed, it's committed, and a warning shot would probably not help at all. Did you find them? Well, now, what we do, let's take this as an example. If we were tracking lions in an area like this, which could be potentially dangerous, there's lots of thickets. So normally lions are quite good. They give you a warning from quite a distance. They give you a good growl. But sometimes you get into a position where you might be too close. They feel they've been snoozing or whatnot, and they'll charge you. Craig, what do you think you should do?
Run, obviously. Don't for your life.
No, that is the only thing you don't do. Craig thinks he's very funny this morning. So it's whatever you do, don't run. So you stand still, you shout, clap, raise your voice, and I actually don't know of any circumstance where someone's had to shoot a charging lion. Lions and most animals will stop. Now, I've had a lioness stop about there from my legs. I have had spit on my legs, I've had sand blasted all over me, and you just got to stand your ground. If you run, just like every other prey animal out here. And of course, we do have this dominant diurnal predator, this bipedal figure, and lions are actually quite scared of us during the day. So 99 times out of 100, they'll try slink off like they did there, without us even knowing they're there. But if they do become aggressive, then you stand your ground. I've thrown sticks at lions, I've thrown rocks at lions, I've thrown hats at lions, anything sort of out of the ordinary breaks their concentration. Actually, Rex has probably been charged by quite a few lions in his day. So I'm coming, here you come. So what would you do, Rexy?
You just freeze, not to run away. It's more important.
As soon as you run, you will get eaten. So there we go. So we're quite confident, and at night time, lions are different. If you're walking around at night time, you need a hit on the head with a stick, because they're going to try eat you. So it's a very interesting thing. So the dynamic between us and lions changes completely depending on whether it's day or night. During the day, we are the dominant diurnal predator. They are actually scared of us. At night, we're just another menu item. So as you can see, I'm walking quite a wide circle around the thickest of the guarri patches. I just want to head down towards our western boundary, make sure they didn't scurry across back to Arathusa. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving quite carefully through here, keep my eyes open while we do that. Let's go back to Taylor and the royal family.
We've got young Xongile here smelling the tree. I'm also just trying to keep an eye out on Karula, who has decided she's moving off in the complete opposite direction. And I hope that Hosana and Xongile decide to go the same way, because that'll be a tough decision as to who to follow. Do we stay with the cubs or do we follow Madam Karula? I'm just thinking we might actually, should we carry on up a bit further? Let's go after Karula, because she's now excited, her ears were pricked. Maybe we'll get lucky with her. Right. Up we go a bit further. Right? Okay. Off we go. I think I can see her. Now we just got to find a gap through here. Now, Sandy, you're wondering if Hosana and Xongile would ever help Karula kill something. It depends. If they were close enough, like here, if she's walking along and she spots something, she starts stalking, she goes after it, and she does catch it, I'm pretty sure Xongile and Hosana are going to race on in and definitely try and take over in the killing process. But what happens most of the time is that here, hello girl, is that it happens so far away, Karula's got to come back and fetch the cubs. It's me ducking. You can see I'm trying to, so you can all see over the top of our heads. Come on. What are you looking for? Oh, it's Hosana. I thought this was Karula. Where's Karula gone? Oh no, she's given us the slipperoo. That's no good. Hopefully Hosana, I don't know if I trust Hosana though. He's such a lovely leopard. But if I know what my brothers were like when they were younger, they're nothing to go by. They're wonderful now. But I always find young male lions, young male leopards are funny things. No, he's changing direction completely, so I don't even know if he's got the scent of his mother. He's got so big now when he walks through the long grass, he almost looks like her from a very far distance. Where's Mum? The go-away birds, the squirrels are all shouting at the moment. Yeah, something's got his attention. I think it's just the birds, the hornbills and the go. Oh, there's Karula's in the tree. No ways. Check there. I'm going to go back. Okay, watch it. I'm just going to reverse. She's sneaky. She went up there so quickly. She's gone up a marula tree. Let's go watch. Maybe Hosana's going to do the same thing. I need to try and find the escape route though, because we're going to have to go through here. Okay, quickly. This is so cool. She's a sneaky cat, that Karula, but she's amazing. She's also so wonderful. Hosana, you've obviously got right away, so you're not going anywhere. So I'm going to squeeze through here then, boy. Oh, I got a tick on me. It's not great. We'll stop right here so you can see both of them. There's Hosana standing next to the car, and then Karula is all the way in the top of the tree. I didn't even hear her climb up that. She is very much stealth-like. And there's the hornbills. It made sense why the birds were all shouting up in this tree. I couldn't work out why they were frantically bouncing from branch to branch. But this makes so much more sense now that Karula's gone up it. And I hope her little ones decide to climb up there and join her, because it's a lovely open tree. You can see we've got a beautiful view other than that big branch. But there are no sort of low-lying leaves or branches littered with leaves. So if these two do start to play around... Oh, look at him. Look how close he's come to you, Brian. He's looking into Brian's eyes, basically. This is amazing. He's just climbing around. There's a little termite mound behind us. And he's so complacent with us. But we must watch him, though. We obviously don't want him to get too curious. But they haven't ever touched the vehicles. And I don't think they ever will. I think every now and then it's common. I've had wild dogs run under my car before, and I'm pretty sure Xongile and Hosana wouldn't worry about going underneath the car either. Kirsty, if you can copy me, I have no communication at the moment. No, it's back. It's working again. Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you very much. There's a hornbill. I think is it a yellow bill? Red-billed hornbill. One of them that's shouting about at the moment. All talking, saying leopard, 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 leopard. Now, Marianne, you've asked if there's any negative connotations to habituating a leopard. No, not necessarily. If you do it correctly, it benefits us. And look how it's benefiting us at the moment. Is that we started very slow with introducing vehicles to Karula's cubs, which was done the perfect way. And they became very used to us, because they also have their own personalities, but they do take after their mother's behavior as well. So if Karula was very skittish of cars, these two cubs would be very, very nervous of us. But because she's so well used to us, and we give her enough room, we don't push her, she obviously has right of way, she's quite happy for them to move around. And like I said, like you just saw, they come right up to us. I suppose there could be negatives, but out here, you know, we're not breaking that barrier. It's strictly habituation in the vehicles, and then they get used to seeing us on foot, but from a distance, and we will never touch them. So it's okay. Xongile has actually just popped out now, and I'm hoping she's going to go straight up the tree to join Mom. This will be, and then Hosana is in hot pursuit. There she goes. Let's see how good her tree climbing skills have come. Here we go. She's looking for a spot. Where's the perfect spot to go up? And they do have to plan it. So often you'll see a leopard sort of staring up at a branch. No, don't go up from that way. Oh, and of course she is. That was easy. First part done and dusted. And this I don't think is a very big jump. She should be well capable of making this next maneuver. Come on, girl. Yep, easy, easy peasy. Hello, Mom. Look at me. She's getting hissed at. Karula's sort of saying, yeah, she's exactly, because she's definitely not impressed. She gave a big snarl saying, right, you can push me around on the ground, but if you push me out of this tree, we're going to have problems, dear. That's what I think Karula had mumbled. Now, Hosana is making his way over, not as excitedly as Xongile did. He's sort of waltzing over, going, oh, do I really have to go up of this tree? Let's see, he's going to just copy his sister and use the same route. Should we reposition? No, he's going to go up. Oh, I thought we were going to get a gap to very quickly sneak around so we could watch him. No, we have to wait for him. Do we just wait for his head to pop up in that gap? No, he's looking up again. Every now and then I see his head poke out the side. We'll wait for him, because we won't really see too much of his body on either side of the tree. We'll have to wait for his head to pop through the fork. Come on, Hosana. But he's got a bigger body that he needs to take up of that tree. Oh, Xongile is coming down now. She's prancing about. Here we go. Hopefully it's going to entice her brother to join them on top of the tree. There's Xongile. She's found her favorite branch. This is amazing. And hopefully we get all three of them up in this tree, because it would be quite wonderful. Come on, Hosana. Hey, I can see movement. No, he's grooming himself now. He's stalling at the moment. It's like he knows we are watching him, and we will judge him for every move that he makes. But Hosana, we just laugh at you because you keep us entertained with your funny antics and falling out of the tree constantly. Maybe, I don't know if he's going to go up.
No.
He's very undecisive. Okay, should we move around quickly? Let's actually sneak around to the other side so we get a view if he does go up. There's his head. No. He says, no, that's too high for me. Maybe he's a leopard and he's afraid of heights. He's just sat in the grass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move us around because I think we'll get a view of their faces. If I just slip around this side. Hi guys.